Hey, my name's Rachel from Aussie Online Growing on Shopify. This is episode number 95, all about audiences. I want to talk to you today about audiences inside Meta, Facebook, Instagram, advertising. What audiences do you have built in the back of your ads manager platform? Specifically, I'm talking here about custom audiences. These are the audiences that you need as a small business owner to be able to leverage Meta better, to build better campaigns, and to set up a bit of a marketing funnel in the back of your ads manager account. That means you can drive the traffic into the top of the funnel and then filter these people down to the bottom of the funnel based on actions they've taken and how much they interact with you as a brand or your website or a product. So I'm going to go through just a few audiences that I think are key to have in the back of your ads manager account. I opened one of my ads manager accounts I'm looking at the moment, and the list runs off the page. So I have many audiences in there. I have custom audiences and saved audiences and lookalike audiences. There are many different types we can talk about, but I probably want to talk about the fundamental ones that you should have built. And when you build them, they start to collect data. So once you've built them, you can go back and use that same audience again and again. So for instance, if you build an audience of people who've engaged with your Instagram account or your Instagram profile in the last 90 days, if I built that audience 12 months ago, I can still use it now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it constantly refreshes. The audience itself is built and then it populates over time. So these audiences aren't static. These are dynamic audiences in that sense, because you build them and then you fill them with users over time based on business tasks you do and things you undertake as a business owner, things that people on social media do or on your website do. They start to fall in and out of these different audiences, and then you can target those audiences and use them to be able to build better campaigns and more accurately target your customers as well, and your ideal customers on Facebook and Instagram. So let me give you some of the audiences I believe everybody should have in the back of their ads manager account. If you don't already have these, maybe you already do, which is great, in which case, what are you doing with them? Have you built a campaign recently? Do you have a campaign running that's utilizing some of these audiences? So the first one you should have is a video views audience, a through play audience. A video views audience sits under engagement as a category, and you want it as a through play. So when you can select the type of video views audience, select through play. That's the type of audience you want to build. And I do it over 90 days. The date range you want to choose is really dependent on your business. If you've been in business for many years, you have a large audience, you have hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars in turnover every year, you can probably build audiences that are targeting a group of users from the last 30 days, which of course is better because recency is better. Recency and relevancy matters in online business, and in e-commerce it definitely matters. Someone who's seen you more recently is better than someone that saw you 6 months ago. But if you are brand new, or if you only have a very small audience, or you're a fairly new business, you could probably stretch that out and build an audience over 180 days. 90 days is a nice time frame for me. Don't bother with the 365 days. Some of these audiences, when you build them in the back of Meta, default to 365 days. Like, who cares? Unless it's Christmas related. I guess if you sell seasonal things, maybe that's appropriate. If I saw something on Facebook a year ago, I'm not interested in seeing it again now a year later. If you have a large business with a high turnover, 30 days is a nice window to select. If your organic social media is really robust. So if you have great engagement on organic socials, you have a big calendar build out, you're very deliberate with your organic strategy, you could also have your window at 30 days because you have lots of content going on that people are engaging with. But if you're blasé with organic social media, you get to it sometimes and other times you don't bother, and it's frankly a headache for you, and you'd rather just pay for traffic yourself, then maybe build an audience over 90 days because you haven't got a huge amount going on social media of opportunities for recent traffic if your last post was 3 weeks ago. In that case, you probably don't want a window of 30 days for video views. You probably want 90 days or 180 days. Now, I do a video views audience because I'm very deliberate about having some sort of brand video or awareness video running at the top of funnel as discoverability content on Meta. So I always have a video running for my businesses on Meta. There's like a brand discoverability video as a video through play is the objective I select. So I want to build a video views audience off the back of people who've watched that video. There's very cheap interactions as well. It's a little bit like paying for an engagement ad on Meta. You get very cheap results as well. Video views is often even cheaper. So at the moment, most of the video view ads I have running hover between 3 cents per through play to 5 cents per through play. And I'm very happy with that. That's a very good amount to spend on a through play. With an engagement ad, I usually spend somewhere between 6 cents and 10 cents is probably usual for me for an engagement ad. Anything above 10 cents starts to seem like a little bit too expensive for an engagement ad, which is some that liked a post or commented on a post or saved or shared and all that sort of stuff. So a video views is the first ad. I'm getting my word. The first audience you should have built is video views through play. The next one is your Instagram profile. So people who've interacted with your Instagram profile. Again, I do 90 days. That really depends on your organic content, your business revenue is, and audience. If you have a Facebook account or an Instagram account with tens of thousands of followers, you could probably have an audience built over the last 30 days, and that would be a really great audience to retarget with a campaign, maybe sending them to a product page or blog post, a video about yourself that reminds them who you are. So there's many ways to use these audiences. This episode's a bit about building them and which ones you should have built. So an Instagram profile for 90 days and the same with Facebook. Facebook profile 90 days. Again, like I said, I built one of these audiences back in March this year. So 6 months ago, I still use the same audience because it's always populating. That's what I was going to tell you. When you build a video views audience, you should go in and edit the videos and select your most recent videos. So if you publish a lot of video content, then I go back into that video views audience and select the videos. So just select all of them for the last 3 months to include them in this audience. So with a video views audience, I then make a note in mind to go back again in a month and update that video views audience again with those other videos. So you can select as many videos as you want when you edit them inside that audience. That's one thing about video views audiences. So we have our video views, Instagram engaged, Facebook engaged, website visitors. Website visitors is audience number 4. Create yourself a website visitors custom audience. Again, 90 days. I do 90 days, but change the date. If you change the number of days, if you have a business that's been around a long time, select 30 days. If you have a business that's very new, select 180 days. I think it lets you select 180 days. Each of them sometimes has different, it lets you do a maximum. I'm not sure what it is, but 90 days is just, I like 90 days. It works for me. I think it's a great little window of time to then reuse that audience on some retargeting ads on Meta. And then the next one is, where is it on my list? Video views, Facebook engaged, Instagram engaged, website visitors. Klaviyo profiles. Using Klaviyo, it's the e-commerce gold standard as far as I'm concerned for email marketing and an email CRM. There's probably others that offer very similar features as Klaviyo. I haven't looked into anything more recently because I love Klaviyo. I love the type of segmentation it does. And I can link my Klaviyo profiles with Meta. This is amazing. When someone joins my newsletter on my website, a pop-up and they join it, get a free PDF download, a free little gift from me, they're now Klaviyo profile. It's synced with my Meta account. I can retarget those Klaviyo profiles in a campaign. If you've ever signed up to a website before and then you maybe start to see sponsored posts on Facebook or Instagram from them, that could be why. They have linked their CRM with their Meta account. You can do that with MailChimp. You can probably do it with many CRMs. I haven't looked at many others because I use Klaviyo a lot. So Klaviyo is sort of where I'm familiar with. So I've got my Klaviyo list of profiles synced with Meta. I don't use that list in Klaviyo to email. It's not the same as my email list. They're not like my marketing list that I send all my newsletters to. It's a separate list of profiles specifically synced with Meta for using on Meta. So I don't email that list of profiles. It sits there in Klaviyo and it syncs to Meta so I can target them with campaigns. It's very cool. Then I could use that in a retargeting ad to just Klaviyo profiles. I tend to bunch them together. So when I do retargeting on Meta, I tend to put all of these audiences into one campaign, which works for me because my business isn't huge. If you have a large business, you can end up with a lot of overlap, and you can end up with people being targeted in different ways too much, and you're wasting a lot of money. That works for me because my business is only quite small. So I can put them all together in one campaign, and then I can target those people with a purchase conversion campaign to a product. I can send them to a blog post, ask them to watch a video. I want to move them further down the funnel. So the reason we're doing this, if you're thinking about it yourself and wondering, okay, I've built these audiences, maybe I should use my Facebook profile engaged audience and now send them to Instagram, or send them a video to watch that's on Instagram. If you have some thought behind it and you have a reason why, like, go for it. But if you're just not sure why you're doing that, I wouldn't. The reason you want to build these audiences to begin with, and you want to use them, is to move people along the customer journey. You want people to get to know you better, learn more about your products, and like come back to your website again and again, and see you on social media again and again, and get a couple of emails from you to eventually purchase. So the reason these audiences are even built in the first place is to give us some more cost-effective results on Meta. Because remember, Meta has done the work for us in finding these people to begin with, to put them in these audiences. So now we want to use Meta again in an even more cost-effective way by retargeting them. So just be aware when you build a campaign using these audiences, one of them or all of them, your CPMs will be quite high. So your CPMs, or your cost per 1,000 impressions, is how Facebook charges you for everything. That's how your bill or your invoice is calculated, based on CPMs. If you target a small group, it'll cost you a lot more. But that's okay, because remember, the small group is got more intention behind it. These are warmer leads. Anybody who's falling inside one of these audiences are warmer leads. And not all traffic is created equal. So the leads that are inside a video views audience are not as warm as the leads inside a website visitors audience. So they're not the same. Someone who's going to watch a video on social media is not the same quality traffic as someone who's going to head to my website and view a product. That's okay though. For the purpose of a small campaign with a small budget, to keep my CPMs at a reasonable amount, I'd rather put all of these people into one campaign rather than splitting them out. If I had tens of thousands of people inside a video view audience, I would use it on its own. I would use a campaign just video views and retarget just video viewers. My business isn't a multi-millions of dollars, so I haven't got a video view audience that large yet. In which case, I'm very happy to bundle them together to keep the audience to a size that means it can find its feet on Facebook and Instagram. It won't falter so much at the start. It'll get its budget rolling. It'll kind of start to get some data and learn some stuff and do what Facebook, Instagram does with a larger group. So that's why I keep them together inside a campaign. If you are turning over, say, 20 to 30 grand a month, you could probably afford to segment these out into their own campaigns. My business isn't that big yet, so I'm very happy to chuck all of these audiences into one campaign, retarget everybody, and send them to a product or a giveaway, or invite them to join my VIP list or something like that. So there's many different things you could do. Find an organic social media post that performed well and work out what that was. Why did it do well? Was it a great video or a great image or what have you? Then, change that up and create it into a campaign and get people to your website, and use these very specific audiences you have built and retarget them on Meta. You have to retarget them cost effectively. And if your audience is larger, when you put these together, your CPMs will be lower, which is good. If your CPMs are quite high, and what is high and low? So for CPMs for a retarget audience like this, if you're going for purchase conversion, so say you're going straight for the hard sell, you build a retargeting campaign and you want to retarget everybody with purchase conversion. So you're like putting everybody together and you want them to buy something. That's the most expensive traffic to begin with. Your CPMs are going to be very high. And by high, I mean, I would be very happy to spend up to $30 maybe CPMs for that sort of campaign. And then you would need to evaluate it after 4 or 5 days and see what results you get. I want to send them to a blog post. So maybe a landing page views ad, that's pretty cheap. I could send them to a landing page view ad, all of these audiences together, my CPMs may only be like $12 to $20, something like that. So far lower. So CPMs will play a part in whether this exercise is cost effective for you or not, but you can control that because you can increase the audience size by making these audiences larger. So you retarget people over 180 days in these audiences instead of 90 days. Or like I said, you put all of them in one campaign to make the audience larger. Or you have very large audiences and you want to segment it down further because you have a much larger business, then pull these out and run different campaigns to each of these. So the point is to build them and use them. So these people are warmer leads. They are a warmer user on social media to your brand and your business because they have made some interaction of some type. That's how they made it into these audiences, is because they took some action with your business, small or large, that meant that they qualified to become a bit of a warmer lead for you. And that's what we're looking for. We want more customers, we want more traffic, we want more leads, we want more sales, we want more revenue. And this is one of the ways you can do that with Meta. Build yourself some audiences. What audiences do you have? Like, let me know. You can reach out to me at my website. Send me an email. I'd love to know what audiences you build in the back of Meta to use for retargeting. You can find me at Aussie Online Growing on Shopify.com.au. I think that's everything on my list now as the podcast episodes come to a close. So I'm definitely rambling on. I will wrap up. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Head to my website. You can book yourself a free discovery call. Let me build these things for you. Let me go into the back of your ads manager, clean up your audiences and run a few audit checks and to see how well your existing campaigns have performed and kind of unravel that Meta ball of string that can be so complicated. Let me see what you've done recently in there, what worked well for you, what you could improve upon, or what you want me to manage for you. And I can build you some campaigns for 30 days. I don't work on retainer, so you can just have me for a project for 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. If you're a bit worried about the whole retainer thing like an agency, reach out to me and book yourself a discovery call. You can put it right in my calendar. Let's chat about your business. Let's chat about what struggles you're having and where you're up to, what stage your business is at, and let me do some marketing support for you in the background and get you some more cost-effective results on Meta and set up a bit of a marketing funnel, see what you've done previously and how it's worked for you and what I suggest you do to kind of improve your results and get you more customers and more sales. I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for joining me on this episode 95. I'm getting so close to episode 100. This is very exciting. Keep learning. We are in e-commerce and learning, having a growth mindset is so important every day. And this episode is definitely all about that. So make some time, go build some audiences. If you have them sitting there and you built them once a year ago and you haven't done anything with them, go and build a campaign and do something with them today. See what results you get. Let me know. I'd love to know. Thanks for hanging out with me. As always, keep learning.